When she understands that love is not synonymous with sacrifice, for a long time they told her that to love is to endure, that true love required patience, surrender, sacrifice, and she believed that love was made of renunciations, who needed to accept what hurt to keep what he loved, that it was necessary to shut up not to hurt, forgive not to lose, insist not to appear weak, and so it was gradually decreasing. He was molding himself to the other, fading a little more with each attempt to please. They called it maturity. They called fidelity, but in fact it was self-denial disguised as love. 1. The love that she was taught to live, since girl taught her a love that hurts. They showed films where the woman suffers, but in the end she is rewarded. They said to love was stand firm, be understanding, not give up easy. And she grew up believing that true love is the one who survives pain. But no one told her that love is not a war to be won. It's a place of rest, complicity, and peace. No one said that love does not require you to betray yourself in order to be loved, that you don't have to stop being who you are to deserve to stay. It took her long, but one day she understood. Love that requires constant sacrifice is not love, it is prison. 2. The small renunciations that empty it. She began to notice the signs. Noticed that he smiled less, who spoke quietly so as not to generate conflict, who would apologize for feeling too much, who began to question, am I the problem? With each renunciation, he lost a piece of himself. He set aside his dreams, his desires, his plans, and all this in the name of a love that only grew from one side. His, what was once donation, has become annulment. What was affection became tiredness. And what was love became obligation. She realized that if she needed to shrink down to fit into someone's heart, that heart was not big enough for her. 3. The awakening. The awakening did not come with a cry, nor with a fight. It came in silence, like a soft light coming through a crack. One day, she looked in the mirror and did not recognize herself anymore. He saw a woman tired, exhausted, with eyes full of stories, but without brightness, and understood that this was not the love he dreamed to live. The love that consumes it is not the same that builds. The love that asks daily sacrifice kills slowly. And what hurt her most was to realize that she herself fed her own pain in the name of a feeling that no longer made her happy. It was at this moment that she chose for the first time herself. 4. When love becomes a mirror, after the pain came the mirror. She began to see herself, realized that he has always loved much, but loved wrong, loved with fear, with guilt, with the idea that being good enough meant never to disappoint anyone. But she forgot one thing. Who lives not to disappoint others ends up disappointing himself. And that's when she started to rebuild. Understood that love is not blind surrender. It is fair exchange. That love is not carrying the weight alone. It is sharing the burden. And that to love someone cannot mean to stop loving yourself. 5. The rebirth. At first, she felt guilty for choosing herself. Society does not forgive the woman who prioritizes herself. They called selfishness what was self-defense. They called coldness what was maturity. But she did not back down, because who has lived the tiredness of giving too much understands. There is nothing more liberating than finally being sufficient. She learned that she can love and still say no, can take care and still impose limits. You can give yourself, but not get lost. And that true love never asks it to be diminished. On the contrary, He makes it grow. 6. The new meaning of love. Today, she understands that love is not sacrifice. Love is partnership. It is the meeting of two freedoms that choose to walk together, without trapping, without suffocating, without erasing the other. Love is respect. It is balance. It is peace. It is the embrace that calms, not the word that hurts. It is the gaze that welcomes, not the judgment that weighs. And when she finally understood that, didn't have to prove anything to anyone anymore. No love, no loyalty, no patience, because those who understand their own value do not beg for more crumbs. She now knows. To love is not to sacrifice, it is to flourish. 7. The love that frees. She left behind the woman who confused love with suffering, and gave space to the woman who loves light, conscious love, love whole. Now she understands that love should not be a cross to be borne, but a bridge that connects two souls willing to grow together. Love that requires you to fade is not love, it is dependence. The love that asks you to shut up is not love, it is fear. And the love that only exists when you sacrifice is not love, it is control. True love is the one that allows you to be who you are, without fear, without guilt, and without pain. One day she understood. Love is not lost. To love is to find yourself next to someone who has also chosen not to get lost. If you are enjoying these stories, subscribe to the channel and come be part of this community of women who are rebuilding themselves day after day. Because here, every shared story is a healing step.